Yes, that's a great question. We included mindfulness strategies, which have to do with focusing in the moment and noticing your breath. This was combined with breath regulation or resonant slowed breathing strategies, as well as stretches and combining movement, sort of slow yogic kind of movement with slow breathing. In addition to that, though, we also had some self-regulation strategies. Pausing, for example, pausing and reset. When a child is having difficulties, how that may push the parents button. So that's a parenting related pause reset, but they're own noticing their own stress response. There's a lot of work on noticing their own stress response. So a pediatrician could ask, what pushes your buttons? How do you know you're stressed? We had people who would tell us, I know I'm stressed because I'm slamming the door or I'm getting upset, and being reactive. And so they could help the person notice that and begin to note it by noticing that they could slow things down. Um, so those were some of the strategies that are part of the intervention. Another great question, very much in terms of practical application. So there's the perceived stress scale, which we used here, and there's like two questions on there that you can ask. How overwhelmed are you feeling right now with your own life issues that are coming up for you, just living life in the day to day, as well as how much control do you feel like you have over that. So those are just two basic questions. You could use a more quantifiable, the brief perceived stress scale. Um, I would also ask them what supports they have, how are they managing their stress? And that could be one way to sort of get into the discussion around stress. That's a really interesting question. I mean, we don't have the data for that, but it does suggest that. And there are other studies where they've only used nutrition and physical activity counseling for parents and do not see sustained effects on improvements in risk for childhood obesity among the little kiddos. So I do think that we like to think of this as a crucial third leg of a stool, that you need the nutrition, you need the physical activity, but the parent is the one that is negotiating and making sure there's healthy nutrition for the child. And if you don't have the wherewithal, when and you're feeling really overwhelmed, it's just going to be harder to be able to do that. That's a great question. We actually are hoping to do a follow-up study with making this entire intervention digital. We already have been testing that in some ways. And so our hope is that it is going to be generalizable in terms of the different folks with different backgrounds. We purposely made sure that our sample included individuals with all of the levels of socioeconomic status and different race and ethnic backgrounds as well, so that we could look at that. And it was not an effect that was coming out only in one group. So that by that I mean that we have found that it is equivalently effective in folks with the full range of socioeconomic background as well as different race and ethnicities. Yeah, that's a great question. So I think our work has shown that positive parenting behaviors combined with reduction parent sort of focusing on their own stress and committing to regulate the stress in the context of the but family responsibilities of nutrition and healthy habits, propagating healthy habits in the children is really critical. So the mechanisms really have to do with stress and stress biology, noticing your own stressors, noticing your own reactivity, and slowing things down, as well as that avenue then opening up towards positive parenting. we're hopeful that the follow-up studies and the longer term duration assessment, which we are planning to do with the largest sample, we have the data. And so our follow-up data will be looking at how long does this last. This was 3 months at follow-up. We have data showing that we'll be measuring up to 2 years. So can we show that the children's risk level remains low and lower than the control arm for up to 2 years? So that tests the durability of the intervention, and we're very hopeful that those findings will be coming out soon as well.